Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. I'm a little bummed. I'm all out of reviewing Jedi Prince novels, and now I gotta go back to Star Wars Tales. Our first story comes from Star Wars Tales 10. It's written by Britt Matthews, and it's called Free Memories. Now, in this little mini adventure, R2 refuses to get his memory wiped, some extra bonus memory he has, and 3PO wonders why. Well, then he's playing the message from, I think, Leia from A New Hope, but then he also has other messages from Han and Luke that are basically like, hey, if we don't make it out of here, memory, they're leaving messages for their loved ones too, and you get to see those. It's okay, I guess. It's not really that necessary, but there it is. So let's move on to the other one that I really want to talk about and really want to focus on. This is from Star Wars Tales, issue number 19, written by Joe, I think it's Pesco, and it's called Collapsing New Empires. Now in this issue, Luke, Han, and Leia meet Perrick, an artist who's making art out of old Imperial war machines, and it sounds really cool, but Perrick turns out to be a cyborg, and he has infected these other pieces of art, and they come to attack them, and so Luke, Han, and Leia have to deal with that. But that's not all, because Perrick turns out to be, wait for this, Black Hole. That's right, Shadow Spawn from Luke Skywalker in the Shadows of Minar is finally given a fitting end. They kill him off. Luke kills him off in this story. Now, when I first read Star Wars 19, I had no idea what this was about. I didn't get the connection, and so I missed it. And then years later on, I guess when I was looking back through the Marvel comic books, I was like, hey, whatever happened to Black Hole? Because I remember he was in Shadows of Minar, but I think he got away. Did they ever bother finishing up his story? And I think this is on Wikipedia when I read it, and I read that Luke had chopped him down, and this, I was like, wait, when did this happen? And then I heard it was a Tales issue. I was like, wait, what? And so then I went back through my issues, and this is a few years ago, and I was like, and I read it again, I was like, wait, that's Shadow Spawn? That's Black Hole? It looks nothing like it. Well, of course, Black Hole, we don't really see his face, but you're like, wait a minute, what? Why would they reserve such? I think he's an epic character. His storyline is stretched to the Marvel comic books, got a big bump in his own novel, and it ends in a few pages on a Star Wars Tales story written by a nobody. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean about the guy who wrote it. I'm just saying, wasn't given a big author to write off. That sounds weird. Now, what probably happened is this Jim guy said, hey, you know what? I want to write an ending to Shadow Spawn. I don't think anyone else is going to use him. And maybe Dark Horse, called Del Rey and said, hey, are y'all going to be using this character again? And they're like, probably not. Maybe they even asked Matthew Stover. He's like, I don't care what you do with him. And he says, okay, well, you can do it. So he wrote an ending to Lord Shadow Spawn. And, I think Perrick was his original name, his first name, before he went by all these aliases. Lord Kronos and, all the other aliases. And it was kind of weird. It's kind of a weird ending, too, because, and again, I need to reread the short story. I just looked it over, but I did read it, like I said, a few years ago, but I don't remember them saying anything that he used to be Black Hole, Lord Shadow Spawn. But again, it's been a while, so they may have mentioned that in the short story. But it just blows my mind. Here I've been talking about how Tales stories really didn't matter. It was nice to read, okay to read, but this one is killing off a character that we've been watching for years, or chronologically for years. And I was like, that's kind of wild that they would give so much attention to a character in a Star Wars Tales short comic book. It's Almost kind of insulting for Lord Shadowspawn, right? But either way, I mean, at least they gave him an ending. At least we know what happened to him. So, you know, good on Jim for making it happen. So here's a Star Wars Tales that if you were interested in Black Hole's demise, you would possibly need to read. So there you go. And like I said, was it good in and of itself? No, not really. The whole hiding as an artist is kind of weird, but I guess, you know, when you're making cyborg creations that would kill people from Imperial war machines, what other excuse you going to use? But anyway, so there's your ending to Black Hole, oddly enough. All right, folks, well, that is all the time I have for now. See you next time with another video.